one. Look back and see how far we've come. You're still the one. Yeah, I remember that day in November when I took you yonder, promised you forever.
Yes, welcome back, and now we are moving on. Just before we go on the home stretch, Alera, we want to talk to one of the most hardworking first ladies in Nigeria, and one that's been given so many awards, because I looked at the profile and I looked at some of the things that she's done over the last few years of being the First Lady of Ogun State. It's First Lady of the Year 2012 Achiever in Public Service Award, Fellow of the Institute of Administrators and Researchers of Nigeria, Golden Jubilee Distinguished Alumni Award. I can go on and on and on, and it's a great pleasure to welcome the wife and First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosun. Great to have you here today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
It is a pleasure. First, let us start, because I look at your profile and all the things you're working on, and it's quite exciting. But let's start with why you have come here today, Going Green and its benefits. Why does it become something that the First Lady of a state will concern herself with?
I had a feeling that lots of people would actually be asking me that question. And the angle that I'm working on is catching the youth young. I have an initiative that I'm about to flag off. The acronym is GEFTI, which is Green Education for the Youth. So my angle is to work with the Ministry of Education to see how they can implement clubs as extracurricular activities in schools, so that we can catch the children young, to cultivate and imbibe the green culture right from the start. Hopefully, by the next generation, we'll have a green generation.
So when you look at green, are you looking at green strictly in terms of planting a tree?
No, not necessarily. I mean, that's a start, and that's part of the green culture. But I'm looking at educating our children, taking it basically, we could talk of the 3 R's, which is reducing, that is reducing waste in the first instance, teaching our children how to swap using nylon bags to carry things about, maybe to use reusable bags, as opposed to using disposable containers to take their lunch to school. They can use a reusable plastic bowl. So you're reducing waste. You know, like we used to have bottles of Coke whereby you drink it and leave the bottle. We should get, the government also should get the companies to sort of like put in policies whereby if you return bottles, plastic bottles or cans of consumed drinks, they would reduce the cost of the new purchase or so. So we can teach our children maybe to pour their drinks into a flask and get the bottles recycled. All this is in a bid to reduce waste. If we can't reduce the waste, then we can teach them how to reuse the waste. For instance, again, we can encourage our children to pass on clothes to the underprivileged people in the society. That's another thing that we'd want our children to understand, that everybody, you know, all fingers aren't the same, as they say. We should know to have empathy for other people in the society and give what we don't need to them. Even give what we do need to them. Learn to share with other people in their society. So that way we can ask them, if you don't need these toys anymore, make sure you still keep them in a good shape, so that we can give underprivileged, well, inverted commas, or people, other children that might need it. They can use your your clothes that you don't need anymore. They can use your shoes that you don't need anymore. Whereby, apart from promoting the green culture, whereby they're reusing things, you're also teaching the children to learn to give, to learn to be used exactly.
So in terms of the other 2 hours, then
I've told you two now: reducing the waste, reusing the waste, and if that doesn't work, then we should get them to know how to recycle. We should, yes, that's the third R.
All right. So
I see that you've come well greened up, and you've got your nail polish to match on your fingernails. I can't see your toes. So this is really pursuing the green theme. Have you planted any trees lately?
Yes. Today actually marks what I would call the flag off of going green in Ogun State. And we had members of the ESCO, headed by His Excellency Senator Ibikunle Amosun, FCA, my darling husband.
I was waiting for that part of it.
Planting trees this morning. We started at 7 a.m. this morning, and lots of people trooped out. We had trucks following us, educating people on green policies and the benefits of going green within the state. And we did a symbolic, I would call it, tree planting session, even though we actually did plant trees. And the one for His Excellency, we're hoping, well, each and every person that actually planted a tree has been given the responsibility to go and water that tree. Everybody has their, yes, to nurture it. They all have their name tags on it. Everybody knows who planted which tree, and we're watching to see what happens.
And they would nurture.
Oh my
God. Go there and water it.
We expect them to, and if they can't, they should appoint somebody or delegate somebody to do it for them. But we'll be watching. Their name tags are on
doesn't grow.
Yes, we will. We'll be watching.
Now,
okay,
in terms of expansion, then, because doing this, expanding across the state, what is the strategy or the plan that you have in place to make sure that it's not just the 20 or 22, whatever the number of the EXCO members happen to be, and a handful of people that want to support the wife of the governor, that will only have those trees? What else will be done? How many more would you be looking to get planted by encouraging people?
This is why children are so wonderful. And I'm contemplating launching the Gefty that I spoke to you about maybe on Children's Day, and nominating all our children in all our government-owned secondary schools to be green ambassadors. I will give them seedling trees on that day, to go with their agricultural teachers in their various schools to go and plant trees. So just imagine that. We have 236 wards in Ogun State, and I can't tell you the number of schools we have.
Those schools.
Exactly. So you can imagine if I have, hopefully by God's grace, a minimum of 5,000 children in the stadium on Children's Day, and I give them all seeds to go and plant. Obviously, why we're involving the teachers is they need to know where to plant the trees so that there isn't chaos. We don't want them planting them in the middle of the road or anything like that. But you know, imagine them just planting trees.
Now, when you go green, what else will be done? In terms of recycling, for example, it's an initiative that you find in other parts of the world where you get a black bag, and you know that your plastic bottles for soft drinks and all other kind of plastics will be put in there. They will not go into the usual waste. What effort is being made by yourself and your wonderful husband, the governor of the state? What efforts are there to create the policies that would have the enabling environment for recycling?
This is what brings me to the conference. Because everybody, well, I wouldn't say everybody, but I know a lot of people have quietly, silently been thinking that, what is her own with a conference? As a platform for the youth ambassadors, my Gefty initiative, I need the state to go green. And so I've partnered, we've organized with, I have Ken and ICPE, they're organizers of conferences, along with Uplift, which is my foundation. And we've put this conference together, and we have international bodies who are vast on the green policies to come for a conference on the 23rd and 24th of April in Ogun State, to come and partner with Ogun State. We expect and anticipate that from this conference, we would see situations in Ogun State at the moment. We actually already have a village which is actually powered solely by solar generators. Yes. And this is what we'd like to see replicated all over Ogun State. When they come, like Schneider has promised to be there. We have lots of people from the members of the European Parliament that are going to be speakers, people who are vast in this field. Like, I would not pretend to be an expert in this field. I just need a platform. I need to be in an environment where everybody